years ago, I needed a car. So I had been driving my parents' old car, and it was no longer good to drive. So my dad told me he would help me, and we had decided that a Jeep would be a good thing because it would be good in the snow and up high and sturdy. And he had found a car that he thought would be excellent for me, and unfortunately, I didn't like it. Not only I didn't care for it. There was something about it. I felt like this isn't the car for me. And my dad was really insulted. He felt like, oh, I've researched it. I've gone on the newspaper and gone online, and this is an excellent vehicle, and you're being very picky, and you shouldn't be like that. You should just, accept my health graciously. I felt like, no, there's something about this car, and I don't like it. I don't want to drive it. And he said, fine. And he continued to look. I said, let's just keep looking a little more. Meanwhile, that other car sold, and my dad said, see, now this good one got away. You're gonna really lament it because you're probably gonna wish that we would have bought this car for you. So I said, oh, I think there'll be another car. So we finally found another car. We went to take a look at it, and the license plate said SRF. Which is Self-Realization Fellowship. And my dad recognized that fact. He said, you don't buy a car because you like the license plate. You buy a car because it's a good car. I did end up getting that car, and it was wonderful until actually another story connected to this is the story of how I was protected from certain death in the SRF car.
Oh, okay.
I had been in India. I went to an astrologer in Amritsar, which is this holy city where they have the Golden Temple. And I went to an astrologer named Dharam Paul. And at the time, I would be wearing a sari. He didn't know I was from America. He spoke Punjabi, but lots of Indians don't speak Punjabi. So he didn't really get that I wasn't from India. And he's speaking Punjabi, translating it to somebody who spoke Hindi, and they were telling me in English what he was saying. He had only seen my astrological chart, like my birthday and the place that I was born. And so he started talking, and eventually he asked me, do you drive? And I said, yeah, I drive. I wasn't driving, obviously, in India, but in the States I drive. And he said, you're going to have a very bad accident. And I kind of thought, well, yeah, you can say anything. I mean, everybody has an accident at some point, so it would almost be a common prediction you can make for anybody, and it could be right. So I thought, okay, well, he said, no, it's going to be a very bad accident, and you may even be killed. And he said, but it's not your time to die, so I'm going to give you this yantra. And it was a small, square paper. He divided it into 9 sections. In each section, he wrote a different number, like a double-digit or a single-digit number. And then on the back of it, he wrote different things in the squares in Hindi. Or maybe even Sanskrit, I don't know. Yeah. And he said, take this, put it in a small silver box, and when you get home, just keep it in a safe place in your room, in your house. And he said, then take the yantra, the squares with the numbers, and he said, make an amulet. Have it carved onto a silver amulet. And make an armband. I thought, well, it couldn't hurt. And anyway, having amulets and armbands and things is not a completely uncommon thing in India. Lots of people have them. So we went to a tour and we did it, and he didn't think anything of it. People probably do that all the time. So that was probably in August. And I continued on, on my stay in India. And then I had returned home for Christmas. The week before Christmas, my sister and I were going to a bakery in Madison, New Jersey, downtown where we were going. And we were driving. I was in the SRF Jeep. And we had parked on the side of the road. It wasn't a parking lot. It was just parallel parking. And we had gotten boxes of Christmas cookies. And we were just talking. We were very excited to be together for Christmas. And we were getting out of the car. I opened the car door, maybe less than a foot. And a truck hit the car and was so close that it tore the door off. and all the glass and all the windows shattered from the impact. And I instantly, after that happened, it was really quick. It was like boom, and everything shattered. The car like spun to the side, into the sidewalk. And I reached over, my sister was like, I looked at her, she was fine, but both of us were covered in glass. The glass had shattered into like, silver dollar sized pieces all over. And people across the street came running over, and people that were across, they said, that's a miracle, because if you would have been stepping out of the car, you would have lost a leg. And if you would have been out of the car, you would have been dead. And I looked at my sister, and I didn't say anything, but I thought, that was the accident.
Yeah.
That was the accident that I was supposed to die in. But I was protected, not only because I had the SRF car, but I had the amulet. I kept it on. I wore it for months. I still wore it for years after that, and I still had it in this small silver box in my jewelry case. And I instantly knew. I thought that was the prediction that came to pass. And I knew instantly. I thought that was, because I had forgotten about it. And I knew it wasn't a self-fulfilling prophecy, because not only did I not really believe it, it happened months in the past. If I would have been thinking, oh, you're going to get in an accident, maybe today's the day, I had totally let it just wash out of my consciousness. But then as soon as it happened, I remembered, I thought, that was it. That's why I don't have the SRF car anymore. It was totaled in that accident. And it saved me. It saved me.